Hi, I'm Christy Flores, or Mrs. Flores. I just want to begin by saying I am so excited to be a part of your classroom this coming week, and I'm sure you would like to know a little bit more about myself beforehand, so... For starters, I love Monsters Incorporated. Sully is my favorite character. I play a fun game called Rugby. I have 2 dogs, and they are my entire world. And speaking of dogs, I love dogs. I currently work at a doggy daycare, and it is so much fun. I love horseback riding, zip lining, and canoeing, and pretty much everything outdoors. But the question I'm sure you're really wondering is, why do I want to be a teacher? Well, that story begins like all others when I was a little kid. I always had trouble in school. I loved learning and going to school, but for some odd reason, I always had a hard time. One day, I lined up all my stuffed animals in a row, and I taped a piece of paper on the wall and began playing teacher. As I made up my own methods, I found myself learning the material at home more than I did at school. I discovered then that I was a visual learner, and school wasn't offering that type of instruction I needed. My story continues as a high school cheerleader. I became captain because of the patience I had training the other girls. I knew that everyone learned at their own pace, and I worked with them one by one. We also had clinics. This is where I discovered I loved working with kids. So I took it a step further and began teaching Sunday school for my church. I became a kindergarten teacher for 5 years. This is when I knew I was meant to be a teacher. So I packed my bags, said goodbye to my friends and family, and came to San Antonio to study education at UTSA. Before, I thought I wanted to be a teacher. After my experiences at UTSA, I discovered I am meant to be a teacher. Teaching brings me so much happiness. I love making lesson plans, I love leading instructions, but most importantly, I love the feeling of contributing to a student's learning. I love seeing their inner light bulbs go off. It brings me joy when I see smiles on kids' face after they finally understand something. I look forward to working with you and learning alongside your students to be the teacher I've always hoped to be.